Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video, and it is once again time for everybody's favorite monthly event, Heroes Jubilee, number 33, and we are currently sitting at rank 40, having not touched the boss battles at all. This is only normal battles for, right now. Again, we're splitting it up into the 1, 2, 3 format, where each video is its own stage. I'm going to have 4 clips per stage, at least for the normal battles. I can't guarantee that for bosses because I haven't tried them yet. But these are my scores as we have them, and you know what? I'm pretty happy with them. Normal battles don't make up too much points once you get to like the higher ranks, so this is what you get. But disclaimers out of the way first. Disclaimer 1, your results may vary. You may or may not have the same units that I do at the same dupe level with the same skill fusions and all that. So just take this video as a piece of advice and some knowledge on how to, clear the stage and team build, but you're going to have to use, what you have available for yourself. And I'm just trying to give you an idea. Disclaimer number 2 is that these are the units I use for protection gauge, and these are the units I use for skill point gain. I don't actually know if I use any of the skill points, but I put them up here anyway. And then finally, don't forget to optimize your magic buildings in town for the light, wind, and water stages when you decide to take them on. But with that said, let's go ahead and get started in Normal Battle 1. Alright, so getting started with Normal Battle 1, the highest scoring team that I've been able to use is the New Year's Blessing team. So Shion, EX Hinata, we've got Tsubasa for free-to-play. We just need the orb change turn 1. You could bring anybody. You could bring Wind Lumi, you could bring Dark Milim, you could bring Triya. It really doesn't matter. I chose a free-to-play option that's relatively recent, so people may have her. Then we've got Milim, Shinsha, and Rimuru. So obviously those are going to be kind of units you may not have, because I pretty much told everybody not to summon on Shinsha or Milim. So, but, here's the maximum damage team, so let's show it off. It's very simple, though. This, you can go up to turn 5 for max turn bonus, but you still need to do 1.4 million damage, which is quite a bit. But if you have the full team, you can do that. So, turn 1, we've got the Tsubasa orb change. It's fine. This is a 1-2-3 fight, so 1 spider, 2 spider, 3 spider, or 1, and 1. But it makes it very easy to kind of determine where and when you're going to kill, and it allows you to build up and send like full hands without having to worry about accidentally killing and finalizing the match. So here, we're just going to send Shinsha and Milim's orbs and everything. We're keeping Rimuru in the back. We want orbs for him, right? So we've got 3 orbs for Shinsha, so we should be able to make that work here. He's going to convert his own to rainbows. We've got Shion, who's going to convert the rest of them to orange. If you happen to get a turn where you don't have to use Shion, that is preferable, because you can then hold it in the back, and you can pretty much go into the second spider with 2 gauges of Shion almost. But here, we're going to guarantee a future hand of oranges. And then we're going to bring in Hinata. And we use the future hand with Milim because it gives us extra orb damage, just so we can kill it faster. And we can do more normal damage to it, because the overkill still counts, even on these orbs. But here, we're going to send this. We're not going to use the rainbow yet. We're going to use it next turn, because we're going to have a full hand of oranges, plus an ult for Rimuru, probably, and an ult for Milim. But because we have Shinsha, we can swap Rimuru's ult away, and we're guaranteed a full hand of oranges, which makes it pretty good. We did kind of get lucky with that extra Milim orb coming in, but doing it this way now guarantees that we can get the EX ult while still sending 6 orbs and getting maximum gauge and everything. So, ult swap, we're going to use the attack buff for Rimuru now and the rainbow orbs for Rimuru, because his attack buff lasts for 2 turns, so we can have it here, and we can have it active for next turn. I don't know why I'm hesitating so much on this. There we go. And we're not going to use anything else. We're going to have to, just deal with it. So here, I'm going to send it, and this will get Rimuru's EX ult, and then essentially, we're going to hold a turn, I believe. And we're just going to build up. So we're going into turn 4. We're not going to nuke yet, because I want to make sure I have enough points to use everything. So Milim's ability, Shinsha's ability, and we're going to use Hinata's light buff here, or element buff, and then we're going to send Rimuru away so we can hold on to both of their buffs. And this is pretty much a giveaway turn. We just want to make sure we can get back to enough points to be able to nuke, which is 95, I think, or something like that. So we're not going to send that much here, right? Just get the orbs out. We have enough to make sure it works. And then we get a cheeky little counter there. But triple ult, so we are guaranteed that we can bring somebody in. We're going to bring Rimuru in for Hinata, Millam and Shincha's buffs, and that gives us, plenty of points. The attack buff from Tsubasa wouldn't matter because Rimuru's not on Pretty Sparkle. So there's the Xion buff, and now we're just going to lower the health down a little bit and then nuke. So 20k, very close right there. We do 1.5 million damage to the spider, and that is certainly damage cap. So the only way we can make this better is by taking less damage, which if you have dupes, then you certainly can. But there is my highest scoring run. Let's move on. Alright, so next up we have like the half meta team. We've got Xion, we've got Rimuru, but we're assuming you don't have Shincha, you don't have Millam. So we're going to replace them, and you don't also have Hinata. So we're going to replace them with Leon, Millam. We're going to bring Diablo, because he's free, right? And then we're going to bring Warrior's Mind Violet. And actually, I was mistaken. This is my highest damage run, because I take less damage here while still hitting damage cap. So it's mildly impressive, right? I'd say it's pretty good using a half meta team to get a higher score than the full meta. It is what it is, though. I have maybe more dupes in this team, I guess. I don't know. They have higher defense. Sure, whatever. But essentially it plays the same. So we brought now Dark Millam for the turn 1 orb change instead of Tsubasa. It works the same exact way, except Millam is doing double duty because she has the ult buff that we're not getting from Shincha now because she's not here. Or, yeah, Shincha. So we're going to bring Rimuru in now, and get a little bit of extra gauge on turn 1 from sending these 6 greens, and then we'll kind of play it by ear. We don't kill the spider, that's fine. We have quite a few green orbs right here, it's not great, but we have Diablo, who can give orbs away to Rimuru, right? So he gives away New Year's orbs, which there's only 2, because there's only 2 Diablo orbs. If you have 3 Diablos, that would work even better. But we're going to give away, we're going to rainbow, and we're going to gauge buff as well. So both of Diablo's skills. This allows us to send a full hand without using a Xion, but still managing to get Rimuru's EX ult, I believe. Yes, there you go. So we can send the full 6, not use Xion, hold it for next turn. We brought Leon in now so that we can use both Leon's buff and Rimuru's buff on turn 3, send him away, and that way he can hold on to everything. And we have Xion, so we can guarantee we're sending 6 hands of oranges to maintain our points and maintain our gauge and everything. So there we go. He's out of there. We'll bring Violet in because she's physical and it'll just help kill the spider. That's the only problem I have because I have no gear on these guys except for Rimuru. They don't do a lot of damage. So we have to make sure that we actually do kill this spider on this turn. So here we go, or at least lower him down quite a bit. So we get him close, which is fine. We're still nuking on turn 5 because that's still max turn bonus, right? But here, we have an ult for Violet. We don't need any more points, really, because we're going to get 30 more on top of this, so I don't want to use any skills. We just want to kill the spider, which we do. There we go. Maybe it should have sent the Leon orbs first for extra weakness damage. Details. But here, we'll have 147 points, which will be enough to use the Violet buff and the Millam ult buff, and then we're going to nuke. It is now turn 5. We have the light buff and Rimuru's own buffs carried over still. So there's the crit damage and ult resistance down, and then here comes the ult damage up. Now, Rimuru's not dark, so Millam isn't giving him dark attack, but it doesn't matter because Rimuru's own attack buff is higher than that anyways. So here, he's got 36,000 HP, so I don't really want to play with it. I'm just going to send it. We do 1.4 million, which is the damage cap. And then we end up actually getting my highest score because we take less damage here than the last run. So, I mean, it works out fairly well. 89,870 is my high score. So again, the only way I can make that better is by taking even less damage. So, let's move on to some less fortunate teams now. Alright, another team that has a dedicated light magic damage dealer is the Goddess of Destiny team, which just got their rerun last month, right? And Shuna was featured on all of the idol banners, so chances are if you played last month, you may have pulled her. I don't know about the rest of the units, but hey, I'm just giving you options, right? The full Gods of Destiny team, Triad takes care of our turn 1 orb change. We get, guaranteed crits, we get magic attack, we get the crit damage and normal attack buff. We got the follow-up, which doesn't actually matter because we're just going to kill everything. But, I mean, it runs efficiently, and it doesn't need a lot of points, right? Because Shuna's buff lasts for 2 turns, which means that on the nuke turn, you only need 75 points to do everything else. And I will give you the caveat that no, we do not do 1.4 million damage here. We do about a third of that. But if you need a team that can give you a reasonable score, and you have this, at any dupe level, you can run it. Like, you don't need a 120 Soka, right? You need a 100 Soka, or you can, like, an 80 Soka if you really wanted to. But we're leaving Shuna in the back so she can steal orbs next turn. That's how we want to efficiently run this, because we want her EX ult. The hero can ult swap away. The spider is still alive, which is nice. We take a hit, and we have 4 hero orbs, so perfect. So we'll bring, we'll use the not ult buff, but the green buff from Rain now, because we're going to have a lot of green orbs that are going to get buffed. We'll bring Shuna in for the hero. We'll yoink those last 2 rain orbs. And we will also use the future hand of greens for next turn going into the next spider. So therefore, when we have the ult with Shuna, we have 5 other greens. We can ult swap Shuna's ult into a green, and that's 6. And that will get us her EX ult plus a butt ton of points. So, and it's dead. So there we go. Very easy to do team. Doesn't take too much brain power to run. But again, it doesn't get you, like, tippity-top damage, right? So we've got the trait, so we have the EX ult now, but I don't want to use it because obviously we're not ready to nuke yet. We're going to use the Shuna buff now, though, because it does last for 2 turns, right? So let's go ahead and get the hero in, and we can swap that ult away into a green, giving us a full hand of greens. Once I decide who I'm going to swap in. And then I think we do use the Shuna buff because it lasts for 2 turns. And then we activate 1 use of Murin just to make sure we kill it, which, I mean, we're not in danger of not killing it by any means. This team, I think, has full gear on, too, because really the only person that's hitting them a lot is Shuna, so it doesn't really matter who has gear. But there we go. So moving on to turn 4, technically, but the last phase, and we're ready to nuke, right? We already have the Shuna buff active. We have 100 points, so we can use the hero debuff, the rain buff, and the Soka buff. Unfortunately, the rain buff is half power because it's past turn 3, which is why I really don't like rain all that much. I've really soured on that skill. So it's only 20% magic up and 20% magic down versus 40% magic up. So, if we had nuked on turn 3, it'd be better, but there was no way to do that. So, we're going to bring Triad in because she does do extra damage against Dark, and I want to lower his health a little bit, just by a bit. And then we nuke with Shuna, and she does 458. So, yeah, definitely not 1.4 million, but it's a reasonable score. Certainly gets you an S rank. And 55, it's not bad for a non-optimized team. But there's the Gods of Destiny team. Let's do the last one. Alright, the last team I have to show off is a modified light 3.0 team. So we've got Protector Shuna, we've got Raphael, we've brought Lumi with RIMURU underneath her for maximum protection gauge. The hero is here, Dark Millum again is here for the turn 1 orb change and the ult buff. And then EX Violet is here. Now you certainly don't need to bring EX Violet. You could bring another big time buff unit if you want, if you don't have access to her. I just brought her because she would work quite well. And since we already have an alt buff, we don't need to bring like Megamine or Water Shuna or something. So magic buff works quite well. But let's go ahead. We're gonna run turn 1 as always, 6 greens. We'll bring Raphael and Lumi in for max protection gauge because Lumi and RIMURU are protection gauge on turn 2. Raphael has Blanc underneath him, so that's protection gauge on turn 2 as well. So we just want as much protection gauge as possible because we are trying to stack in 5 turns. And this does work because we're stacking effects on our own characters, so it's not like we're missing out on debuffs that are being killed off with each spider. Not the greatest hand in the world, but because we brought Violet, we can make it work. So we'll use the Lumi orb change here, and then we'll bring Violet in. And we'll also bring the hero in, because the hero, Violet, and Raphael all have turn 3 protection traits. So between, this full hand of orange, it's going to look pretty good. Even though we're probably going to be capped out, or very, very close to being capped, this just ensures that we'll have double protector next turn. So yeah, okay. We're missing that much protection gauge right there, but because we have 3 characters giving us protection gauge on turn 3, we're going to cover that, and we're going to have 2 stacks going into turn 3 and the second spider. And because we don't have an EX character who's nuking, we only need 1 ult, right? We only need 1 ult bar, and we're certainly going to get it right here with Raphael. But there's the double stack of Shuna. Works out fairly well, continuously stacking our power up and up and up. Just need to make sure we get to a point where we can use all of the buffs efficiently. So we're going to have to hold one of the big-time buffs, either Violet or Lumi. It doesn't really matter who, but one of those big-time buffs we have to just hold on to. We send the oranges here because orb changing isn't going to really work out for us right now, but the rewind kicks in, and now we can maybe take advantage, and it mostly works out. Mostly. So we can use Violet and Lumi, and we could change all those into 6 blue. It's not a very good usage of Violet's skill, but yeah, gotta do what you gotta do. So here we're gonna get a lot of points. We have the ult for Raphael, which means that next turn we can either use Lumi's buff or Violet's buff, and then send Raphael away. We're not going to turn 8, and you can stun the spider no matter what, so Lumi's skill, we don't need to go till turn 8. Her secondary effect makes no difference. If you don't have Lumi, you could bring Light Leon, but you would need another orb changer for greens. So Lumi is working very well here. We're going to use her buff now. Okay, so that's 80 points down right there, but if we send a full hand of green, then, we can make it work still. So the hero is we're going to swap out Raphael. He's got an EX, quote-unquote, ult, even though he can't, actually use it. But we have enough points to full orb change here between Lumi and Violet again. And this will get us, a lot of points. We're nuking on turn 5. We're going to get a double stack of Protector. We're going to bring in Milim right here. And then now we can guarantee that, we have a Milim ult, which means that we can swap her out freely, and there will be an orb for her, so we can bring Raphael in. And we can also use her ult buff. So, turn 5 incoming, double stack of Shuna ready, 250 points, so let's use the ult buff, and then send her away for Raphael. We've already used the Lumi buff, so we don't need to worry about that too much. And now we just need to, decide what else we're going to use here. So, we only have 115, so we got to make the choice, and it's going to be Raphael's skills. I mean, if we had gotten extra lucky in that turn where we had sent 4 orange, and we had 6 blue, and then somehow gotten another natural 6 blue, we might have had another stack and had enough points to use the hero crit buff as well, but that's a lot of RNG right there, and I wasn't really feeling that. So, we're going to bring Lumi in for Violet, because I want to lower the spider's stats again, his HP, before nuking it. And very, very close, but million damage right there. Not bad for turn 5 and an old character. And that gives us a score of 78. So, pretty good, right? Even if you don't have Violet, you could still get somewhat close to that if you bring another decent buffing unit. But those are the 4 teams I use, or you can use, for Normal Battle 1. If you have any other suggestions for people, please put it down in the comments so they can take advantage of that. But let me know if this video helped you out. That's it from me. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.